What ideas in this novel make it relevant even today? For this, I answered it in 5 different parts. And these were themes that I got from the novel and that I thought also relate to today. So my first one is materialistic ideals, and you see this throughout The Great Gatsby, because you see the wealthy wanting this materialistic things. For example, Daisy is in it for the money. She's basically a gold digger and goes to Tom. I don't feel like in the novel she actually loves Tom. It's just like she came from a wealthy family, and to keep that wealthy generation keep going, she uses Tom to support her. So when she meets Gatsby for the second time, and she sees how big of a palace he has, this huge mansion, she almost falls in love with him again. But that's because it's materialistic love, not real love. And to prove this, the novel states, "Sophisticated, God, I'm sophisticated." It's one of the lines on page 17 that Daisy states, and that's just showing how materialistic she really is and how untruthful she also is. My second point was the poor versus wealthy, and this you can even see by the setting in The Great Gatsby, because they have the poor area where even everything's gray basically, and where most of the population lives, and then you have the East Egg and West Egg where the wealthy people live, and that by the setting is showing the poor versus wealthy gap that we even see now today in our economy, even now in the United States, and the gap between the wealthy and the poor is expanding and so forth. And the third one was infidelity or karma, and that is shown throughout the book as well. For example, this quote: "They spent a year in France for no particular reason, then drifted here and there unrestfully whenever people played polo or were reached together." This was a permanent move, and that just shows how at the end of The Great Gatsby, Tom confesses to Daisy that he had all this romances going on in New York, and that's why they made the move to East Egg. Not because they wanted to move, it's just that because Daisy was so humiliated by all the things and all the girls Tom saw, that they had to move. So that is the other theme we see now today. There's way more divorces going on than there was years before, and so that falls into that category. The other one is the unconscious drama, and for that example, I have a quote, and this was directly from Daisy's perspective, and it has to do where Daisy is saying, "I know you didn't mean to, but you did it too, and that is what I get for marrying a brute of a man, a great big hulk physical specimen of a..." And then they go on and argue, and by having those marriage problems, that is little details that we don't really see but are really important to the plot, just like how nowadays there's little arguments that make up what the society we have today. And then the last one is the losing a family member, and then for that I have the quote: "There was 2 cars, one was going each way. Well, his hand rose towards the blanket, but stopped halfway and fell into the side. She ran out here, and the one coming from New York knocked him right on into her, going 30 or 40 miles per hour." And that explains just how you wouldn't lose a family member in that theme where Miss Wilson is killed.